Well, greetings. This is Pastor Carlin Hours here at First Lutheran in Pontiac. This is our Common Sense Theology. Glad that you could be with us. Want to look at 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter. This is a very misunderstood book, 2 Timothy. And we have this list here. And it says, but understand this, that in the last days there will come times of difficulty, for people will be lovers of self, lovers of money, proud, arrogant, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, heartless, unappeasable, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not loving good, treacherous, reckless, swollen with conceit, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having the appearance of godliness but denying its power. Avoid such people, for among them are the people who come in and turn away people of weak minds, basically. Everybody thinks this is dealing with the world. This is not dealing with the world. This is not dealing with the secular world. This is talking about Christians. This is talking primarily about so-called ministers of the gospel, because Paul was trying to prepare Timothy to be a young minister of the gospel. And these are things that are happening in our world today. The world's not the problem. They're acting just like you expect them to act. They're doing what they are expected to do. It's the Christian world. It's inside the church where the people, and a lot of times, unfortunately, the clergy, are not doing the things they are called to do. And we see every one of these. This is one of the most terrible lists you will ever find. But yet we find that Paul is addressing this about ministers and clergy in the last days. We need to be very careful who we listen to. We need to be very careful who we are letting in our pulpits. We need to be careful, because this list is a terrible list. And it says avoid such people. Avoid them. Run away from them. And sometimes, if you're having bad teaching, if you're around somebody who is not a person who should be in ministry, you better off to run the other way. And there's plenty of them out there. I've run into them. I used to be very trusting of anybody with Reverend in front of their name, and I got Reverend in front of mine, or said Pastor, and I learned not to be very trusting. Sometimes they're the worst of the lot. Be careful. Not saying that all pastors are bad. Most pastors are loving, caring people, but there are these things that are going on, and there are pastors who have no business